What's happening, Reds? Welcome back. We didn't say we said we might do a show, but Liverpool have beat Rangers 2-0 at home, so I thought it'd be a good chance to jump back on and have a little chat about it. But yeah, I'm Mick. I'm joined by Kristian once again. How are you doing, Kristian? How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, good. We needed a win and a performance like that, even if it's Champions League. Obviously, Champions League's big, but even if it's Champions League against Rangers, we needed that kind of performance to feel that we're back on track and know that we're going to play Arsenal on Sunday. It's a different level of a team, but still, for self-confidence and at Anfield to actually just win, don't concede a goal, I'm really, really happy with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Let's just have a look. There's a few comments we can just go through dead quick. Hero of Kvach says, happy with that. Decent game. McGregor probably ruined my prediction of 5-0. He had a good game, to be fair. David in the chat, nice one, David. A very controlled and dominant performance. We showed our flexibility with a different shape and why it might be something considering moving forward. Yeah, and obviously we on the team news show, we were talking about how excited we were for the 4-2-3-1, and I thought first half, I think we were obviously texting and stuff. Just the intensity was there. Obviously, the buzzword, the whole Pep Linders booked intensity, but it was there. And I think, like I mentioned on the pre-match show, like the spaces were less because we had two in the holding in the holding role, and then obviously Jota in the gap. In a defensive formation, and then it was basically a 4-2-4 when we sprang out from there. So it looked a lot better, didn't it? And I think a lot of players obviously done a lot better, like the likes of Hendo. I think loads of balls over the top, Trent scoring early on as well. There was a lot of good positives from the very first minute, weren't they? Which is good.
Yeah, and like you said, the intensity, the energy, the will to actually perform. You could see just by the runs the players was taking. They did 100% runs, not sloppy, slow runs that we were talking
Exactly.
about before.
Yeah.
You can actually see they wanted to get in straight away, put pressure on the opposition, and win the ball high and up, and go on and actually score. And yeah, it's you felt straight away from the start that this is a different start than we've seen before, and that just that kind of start makes a really good feeling for you, because you're not used to it, but we've been used to it before. But the start of the season, we've seen a really slow Liverpool. Now it was actually speedy again, and we actually felt like, okay, come on, they won't stand a chance because they won't have the time to keep the ball.
Yeah, and that's all it takes. And obviously, you can look at their side, and obviously it's not. There's a bit of youth in there and a bit of age in there, maybe in terms of the midfield and stuff, in terms of how they were going to do against us. But I just thought all we had to do tonight was focus on ourselves. We talked about Rangers not scoring a goal yet in the Champions League. They've been beat 3-0 and 4-0. And actually Napoli went on, I think they battered Ajax tonight, 6-1 in the end, I think it was, which is...
Oh, okay. I didn't even see that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they're way clear, but yeah, it was just about focusing on us, and I thought Thiago and Henderson in those spaces were just obviously keeping us ticking over nicely. And obviously the goal comes quite early on. Obviously, let's talk about the Nunes chance actually first. First 2 minutes, Nunes has a chance, and then it was basically the Nunes McGregor show that first half. Nunes just having shots from everywhere, but then 7 minutes in, Nunes actually wins the free kick, and Trent steps up and does what Trent does best, and it was just an absolutely perfect free kick, wasn't it? And just like we said, we always keep saying on these shows, we need quick starts and early goals, and getting that first goal's key. And it was nice to finally get that for once, weren't it?
Yeah, and I like the way, obviously, that we won the free kick as well, because that was a link-up play with Nunez, and he just received the ball and got tackled, and we won the free kick, which was great in a dangerous position for us. And you know that Trent's got a great right foot, and he's good with free kicks. But he probably doesn't score as many as we like, to be honest, because he gets quite many chances. But that free kick was brilliant. Just on top over the wall, and actually just the goalkeeper can reach it. So it was a great free kick, a great start, a great goal, and it's good for Trent as well with his self-confidence, growing as well. He needed that, and he stayed back as well, a bit more defensively in this game, which probably it's probably talked about internally, that stay back a bit, just because Tsimikas was really high up on the pitch. So, maybe they just wanted to feel, don't leave him in stupid positions, just make him feel a bit more safe and actually go from there, because that could be good for himself. So, yeah, great start, great goal, great performance by Trent as well.
Yeah, it's just nice to see him. Like you could see the relief on his face, obviously, as he runs over and he does the celebration that he likes doing, where he doesn't really show much emotion, but then once he gets mobbed by like Nunes and all that and Tsimikas, the smiles breaks out, and that's like you want to see that, because obviously I just watched a bit of the press conference, not the press conference, the interview with him after, and he's just saying like doesn't get that bothered by like obviously being out of form and stuff, and he just needs to keep working, and that's the kind of thing that it's just one of those, like when you're going through a patch of form like Trent has, you're waiting for it to like just for it to evaporate, because it's not gonna be there forever. He's only 23. And that's what he's capable of. The goal and some of the passes throughout the match. There was one for Salah, I think, second half. Might have been first half actually, but it was just like pinpoint, and it was just that's what we want to see from Trent. That's the type of creativity that we want to see. But yeah, Darren's in, nice one, Daz. Higher lads, onwards and upwards. Yuki's in as well, and again, hello again, much better. I feel better now compared to Saturday. Yeah. Definitely feel a lot better. Dan's in, nice one, Dan. Only thing missing was that goal for Darwin. Still eluding him, but really like the way he put himself about tonight. If he keeps doing that, the goals will come. As for Luis Diaz, he is unplayable. Yeah, definitely. Like Luis Diaz, oh my god, he's just give him the ball and just let him run, and he just like a road runner, goes from left to right, and yeah, he can win games on his own because he's just that good. But let's just talk about some more of the chances in the first half before we get on to the second half. Yeah, more chances, for another chance for Diaz. McGregor saves another one from Nunes. Van Dijk nearly scores on the half-hour mark. I think he gets a touch on it and kind of takes it away from one of our players, unfortunately. And then there's another one just after that where ball over the top by Hendo, which I think Henderson gets quite a bit of shit for. The ones where it gets played back to him and he whips it across. And that's kind of like a signature move or a signature pass. And I think it's one of those that when he's on the right of a three, it's got to be pretty much spot on. But when he's in a more central area, I think it works a lot better because there's the space over the top. And as long as Jota and Nunes know that once that Trent plays that ball back to Henderson, that's a trap that he's going to play it instantly. And then you just make the run and you get on the end of it. So it was just little things like that were just clicking into gear, wasn't it, in that first half hour as well.
Yeah, because you can, like we said, that we were starting the game like we used to see Liverpool start a game with the intensity. And what I liked as well was that we could see that we had creativity. Like we had link-up play with different players. Nunez came down to meet the ball. He was running, obviously, making runs. Diaz, Salah, Jota, I could just see, all these little balls where, play one-to-one and you move again. And that's the thing. Like if you do that, if you play short passes and move straight away, you still, straight away asking questions for the opposition to, should I run or how should I move or whatever, who should I mark? Because you're always in on the move. And that's when it gets really difficult to defend. And that's something that Liverpool did really good from the start and kept on doing, during the whole game, except for maybe the last 15 minutes or whatever. But, then we had, 2-0 up, so that was not necessary. But the way we played, after 1-0, we still kept control of the game and just kept on doing this. That's we haven't seen, and we've been lacking that creativity, which I like that we now actually saw that, okay, we can play this kind of football. We're actually that really good, and we know we're good. We just need to, get the rhythm and get the self-confidence going in the team. And I felt like this is a game, even though it was Rangers, it's a step forward to us just to build and up on and move on towards the weekend, even if it's going to be harder and tougher, a game, I guess. But it's just something to actually take and go forward with, because that's important too. Sometimes you just need that kind of positive edge and take it and go from there.
Yeah, and it's just like it was just little things that we keep saying, like it was like the intensity needs to be there. We need to be fighting for balls. It was like it's all the basic stuff that we haven't been doing. That was there tonight. Like finally, obviously the change in shape. helped close those spaces down a little bit. And I just felt like every time, even if we like some good link-up play, and if it didn't quite work out, we'd literally chase after it. And like you said, the speed was in there, the speed and the pace and the aggression to get the ball back. And even if you make a little tactical foul, then fuck it. Like it's better than letting them just like run past us and potentially have a counter attack. So it was just things like that were really good, and that needs to hopefully start to like transition itself over to the Premier League, and we can start to see might start seeing a 4-2-3-1 in the Premier League as well. But towards the end of the half, just more chances for Nunes, just Nunes having shots, and I think like 1-0 at half time, we had 7 shots on target and 7 off target, and it was a good first half, wasn't it? To be fair, because we started off really well, and if it was Nunes, is obviously he's a master at staying onside, I think, and those little balls in behind for him, he just knows, he's just so aware of the line and how to stay onside, and obviously if the ball's nice, then he's in. It's just I think he's still a bit too eager. He's still a bit too keen with his shots. I think he's snatching at it a little bit. Where I think there's one where Salah plays him through, and he maybe hits it a little bit too early, like on the edge of the box. I think he's trying to surprise the keeper, which is fair enough. But I think if he takes another touch and gets himself just into the box, obviously the closer you get to the goal, the easier it is. So it's just little things like that. That once he gets that first, I say first goal, but once, like, obviously since he's came back and after his suspension and stuff, once he starts to get a goal, and no matter how it goes in, it'll start to go for him, won't it, at some point?
Yeah, I thought it was great, from the start when he got that free kick where Trent scored, and through the whole game, because until he was substituted, because he makes the right runs, he is moving into the right spaces, and like you said, he's a master of staying onside. He's got the physical ability to actually, in one way push away his defender, or just actually get some space by just pushing him and giving him a nudge to create space for himself. And he had a few moments where his touch was really, really good in this game, like the ones where he actually took it down and shoot, but the goalkeeper saved it because it was kind of straight on. It was a hard angle as well because it was that close. The first touch, you just take it down like that in the box is great. And sometimes he didn't have a good touch, but that's something that will come as well. He's still learning his trade with Liverpool as a team. We know he has it, but if he just keeps on playing like this when he's playing, like, I would like him to start playing games for us now, consistently, because you can see that he gets himself into the positions where he will score. Like, he would have scored today if he just had, like you said, he should have been maybe a little bit more relaxed. He just tries too much. He's a little bit too eager. But when that clicks in, he will, be in positions to play, score 2-3 goals in this kind of games, because he's clever. Obviously, it will be harder against the more tougher teams, the better teams, but he just needs to keep on doing it and make that a rhythm in his way of playing with this team, and the team will get to know how he moves as well. So if you can see these kind of signs already that he's doing it, just keep playing him, because he will score, because he's getting there. He just needs to hopefully relax a little bit, and then when he scores that first goal after he's actually came back now and start playing, I think there will be no problem. That's the thing. Just get the first goal, and we go from there. I really liked what I saw from him today.
Yeah, and like Darren says as well, Nunes still looks raw, trying too hard, but it will come.
Yeah.
And the goals will start knocking in for him soon.
I would have been more concerned if he was never in the positions or never had a shot or whatever, but he's there all the time, so it will come.
Yeah, he's always keen, isn't he? He's always eager to run in behind. Like, I think the movement's never been in question, really. I just think it's obviously the goals, but he's just not played enough. Like, he played pretty much the whole game today, apart from he went off on the 79th minute, so he's got a good 80 minutes under his belt there, which is, considering how many minutes he's had so far for Liverpool, that's a massive chunk or massive portion of the minutes he's had so far. But David says Trent's attacking ability is arguably more dangerous from that deeper position. A couple of quality deliveries that we haven't seen for a while, dealt with 1v1s too. And then Dan's kind of said something on Trent as well. Change of shape to really help Trent tonight. Extra creative bodies up top, puts less pressure on him to create. And as Chris said, he was able to focus more on his defensive work. And then Yuki says, Nuno's goal will come very soon. Yeah, and it's just like, you can see, I think after the Trent goal, like Nunes runs over and he's like absolutely made up for Trent. And then I think after that, especially second half, there's a couple where Trent whips it in and it just gets cleared just before Nunes gets a chance to get it. And you can see they've got, obviously, that's like a partnership made in heaven once it starts to click together, because Trent, he loves it crossing into the box and they're so dangerous and so powerful and usually right on the money. And if Nunes is getting himself in the right spaces, he doesn't even have to put any power on him. All he has to do is direct them into the back of the net, and Liverpool will have loads of goals from it. So it's just one of those that'll come in time, won't it?
Yeah. Like they said in the comments there, like with Trent being able to actually come from a deep position and put the crosses in like that, behind the opposition's defensive line, and with Nunez being quite tall and quite physical to come in there and actually get his head on the balls, that will happen. And now they were cleared off, just straight in front of him. So it was a little bit unlucky from him there, but if they keep on doing that and actually kind of get a telepathic way of knowing where Trent knows where Nunez will be, and Nunez knows that Trent's going to put the crosses in, we will see goals coming from that kind of offensive style of play. But I also like that that Nunez was also good with the link-up play with some players as well. Like he's not only a striker being tall and good on his head, it's actually even if his touch, like I said, wasn't always as good as you want it to be, you can see that he can still play the ball, with a little bit of a link-up play. So he will give us different options, and that's what I like. And especially when we saw with Jota and Diaz and Salah, just behind him or all around him in that way, it looked really dangerous. So again, I know it was Rangers, and they are not the best, the most quality of a team, but it's still a Champions League game. You still need to win it. You still need to show that we are kind of back on track, on the right way moving forward. So you just have to take that and be positive about it.
You can only beat what's in front of you, and I think at this moment in time, I think if we were in the usual vein of form, we were battering everyone, this game would have just been like, we're going to win. And if we win 2-0, 3-0, fine. But we're at the stage now where we've obviously not, the performances just aren't there, and it just we haven't been clicking at all. We've been all over the place trying to fix it. I'd basically 3 weeks off, came back against Brighton. We're just absolutely horrific for like the first 20 minutes. Could have been 4-0 down. So it's like, I'll take. It doesn't matter who it is. Obviously, you've got to play everyone in the group twice. So. Yeah. We've obviously got battered by Napoli. We beat Ajax now. We beat Rangers, and we've got Rangers again. And so I'm more than happy that we've put that performance together and that win together. We could have scored. If Nunes found a couple of the corners instead of hitting it straight down the middle, then we was talking 3-4-0. So it's just one of those things that'll come in time once Darwin Nunes starts to maybe stop snatching at the ball a little bit more and start hitting it into the corners. But that'll come in time, because we saw it in the 2 games against us last year in the Champions League, that he knows where the corners of the goals are. It's just when he's fully in synergy with the rest of his teammates and the rest of the team, that'll start to come. So it's only a matter of time. But nice one, Doug, for jumping in. The goals will come from Nunes. I'm sure he's getting in the right spaces, but I wish he wouldn't drift out wide a lot, to be honest. Napoli scored 6 at Ajax as bonkers. And then Daz says it'll give the lads some confidence going into the Arsenal match, which is what we've needed. Exactly. And it's just it's as simple as that. Like, it's as simple as that. We need to just win. We need wins. Performances obviously is key, but I think just looking like a team, because we haven't looked like a team, I don't think, for a while now, which is the most shocking thing for the Liverpool team, especially when we're usually so cohesive and we know what we're doing. There's a clear game plan. We usually batter teams. That's just the way we usually are. We usually outthink teams, outwork teams, and that's not happened this season. So the fact that that was a good step in the right direction today, and we just need to build on that, don't we? Obviously, going into the games coming up, because there's loads of them. There's loads more games in October, so another 7 games actually.
Yeah, exactly. And to win is the most important part, obviously, in this stage to actually get 3 points in the Champions League, and to win without conceding a goal is also great for the self-confidence, because we've been conceding lately in like many games. We always have to chase to try to get the win, and that will change our style of play as well. And what I really liked, that was many players that actually looked like they did a much more good game than we've seen them lately, like Henderson. Thiago was good, and I felt like the midfield was really good with being aggressive and actually closing down the players when Rangers came through, because that helped the defensive line as well. And you could see, with Diaz and Salah also helping, and Jota. So just like we said in the preview, like they were closing down the players straight away. When Rangers had the ball, they didn't have much time to actually find the passes, into space or trying to build something, because we were actually there from different positions and different angles. So they have to, they drop the ball, or they just have to turn around and pass it backwards again and start all over. And we were still on them with the pressure on there. So, we saw something that we haven't seen from Liverpool in a while, and which hasn't worked really. So I really like that we could see, that the legs of the midfield running and actually fighting for it. And that's positive, because I think, for players like Henderson, for example, he hasn't been good. He's been out injured.
He was very good tonight, wasn't he? Like, I thought that was his best he's been for a while for me.
That's the thing. And, I think he just probably, with his formation, felt more relaxed as well. Like, he had more time, and he can actually be a leader and a captain. And he felt probably more, in a deeper position as well, being able to pass his balls, when it just felt like it suited him better. He had more time. He felt more self-confident, and he had a good game. So if he can take that move forward as well, that's really good for, single players. Like, they actually know themselves that I had a great game today, and that will boost them, and we can, take that going into the game in the weekend. And that's important too. Just as important as it is to win is, to actually see the players actually doing a good game as well. Because we could win but be playing shite, to be honest. We could have been shite, but we could have won. And that's a good thing as well. But when we've been so bad lately and not, winning games or, performing the way we want to, it's actually good to see players taking a little bit of a step forward to be like, yes, now we're reaching the level. Now he's reaching the level. That's good, because as soon as all kind of get a few levels up, then we will be a better team collectively as well. So, it's just positives.
Yeah, it is. It's a good step in the right direction. We just need to prolong it. But if you watch it there's a couple on Facebook and on YouTube, then do hit the like button. It's very much appreciated. But yeah, I can see Dan's put a comment on about Arsenal, which we'll get to, Dan. We'll get to that in a minute. But Aidan says, "Evening, chaps, get in." I imagine that's a Robbo. Get in from Anfield Rap. Get in. That's why I did it like that. Good win, clean sheet. Nunes played well. Formation worked. Roll on Sunday. Yeah, I think so. Let's just go. Obviously, so second half was we got another chance for Nunes, 48 minutes. Another chance. Probably should have scored that one as well.
Yeah,
but he's getting, like we said, he's getting in the right positions. He's making those runs. Once he gets a goal, I mean, I just can't wait for him to start scoring. I honestly can't wait for it. But 3 minutes after that, great ball out wide by Hendo to Diaz. Diaz does what Diaz does best, dribbles inside and wins the pen. And you just know, obviously, at first I was like, is he going to give it to Nunes? And then obviously Mo Salah's like, well, he's a certainty to score. As then the up steps Mo, 53rd minute, 52nd minute, and 2-0. I think that was when we could relax a little bit then, couldn't we? I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't relaxed anyway, but like 2-0 is much of a safer scoreline. I think we could obviously then start to soon ring the changes and like bring some players off to, obviously we need to keep doing the changes to keep the energy in the legs, because we keep saying, we said on the team news show that we need to go with our best 11, but we also need to make sure that we're changing our players for quality, because like we mentioned on the bench today, there was loads and loads of decent players on there for the first time in ages. Obviously having Ramsey in there and Kanate back, who both didn't come on, but like Fabinho and Firmino and Elliott and players like that came on and can just give a like for like improvement to the team. So 2-0 was boss winner to get that goal, and then obviously there's only what 30 odd minutes left from there to kind of just hopefully seal it. And I would have liked another one, to be fair, but I think 2-0 at that stage was a good time to get the second one, wasn't it? Especially so early in the second half as well.
Yeah, and I agree with you that 2-0 up instead of 1-0 up. Even if I wasn't concerned because I thought we were controlling the game that well anyway, I wasn't scared of Rangers, to be honest. But 2-0 up is so much better because obviously they could have had like a lucky corner or whatever and just get ahead on it and score 1-1, and that's a different story then and a different game. So just to get that 2-0, and obviously with the penalty, Diaz doing great and just goes into the box and being fouled by like 2 players at the same time or whatever because they couldn't get the ball of him, and Salah steps up and scores, and I just felt like, okay, now we actually 2-0 up finally. Now just control the game, substitute a few players that could rest and be prepared for Arsenal at the weekend. So it's just perfect for us, 2-0 up, and then we can actually, like you said, start to make changes that will benefit us as a squad going into the weekend.
Yeah, and I've just had a quick look on Opta Joe for some Mo Salah stats because I haven't threw out a Mo Salah stat for a while. I do love a Mo Salah stat. So Mo Salah. What was that? Sorry.
You do.
I love a stat anyway, but I love a Mo Salah stat especially. But Mo Salah has now scored 35 Champions League goals for Liverpool. Only Didier Drogba scored 36 for Chelsea, and Sergio Aguero scored 36 at Man City. I've scored more for an English side in the competition. So he's only one off Drogba and Aguero. It's not bad, is it?
No, that's really good. And I thought, even if he wasn't, as dangerous as we, are used to see Salah, but I thought he was much better in this game than we've seen him lately too, because he had a few shots, he tried more, he actually got into more better dangerous space. So it's just good signs. And then obviously with the penalty that the Diaz won, that he can actually step up and score, it's just good for him as well because he likes to score a goal. He just, looks at himself every season and set up his own goals, personal goals. And he wants to score as many, obviously. So, even if it's a penalty, it's just good for his self-confidence as well, just to, get it into the net and go from there. Like I said, I keep on saying it, but I just think, the team we've been seeing since the start of the season, except for Bournemouth, hasn't been the Liverpool team we've seen for like 3-4 years. And they know it too. The players know it too. They've said it in interviews, like Van Dijk's been out saying, we just need to keep on working because this is not us. So I guess, all the positives that can happen to the collective team and also to the individual players with Mo Salah scoring, Nunez getting into spaces, Hendo having a good game, the defensive line keep great shape, Alisson not conceding, it's just good things because we're so used to this. But then the start of the season been real weird for us because we've been a little bit spoiled with how we played over the last couple of seasons. So I just think it's important just to get them on the score line, play well, win the games. And obviously in Champions League, if we're going to have a chance of actually going through, then we need to win like teams against teams like Rangers. There's no doubt about that. We just need to win. And I guess, we just have to go there to win as well. And then there's another position in the group as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, obviously after that, there was probably McGregor's best save, to be fair, the one from Jota, where Jota takes it in and hits it with his left foot. And that was just an absolutely unbelievable save. That could have been 3-0. That would have been obviously world class. That would have flew into that corner. Yeah. And then Liverpool started doing the changes after that 70 odd minutes. Jota comes off, Hendo comes off, and then on the 80th minute, Nunez comes off and Thiago comes off. Milner comes on for his 300th Liverpool game.
Jay, Mr. Reliable.
I think they said in comms his 825th appearance in all competitions, which is just fucking just mind blowing. Just craziness. But yeah, it was very, very good indeed. And obviously, Matip towards the end has a chance, should make it 3. If Jota doesn't make it, but then Nunez has loads, Jota has a chance, Matip has one, Van Dijk has one, and then Tsimikas clears one off the line. What a clearance that was! But yeah, 2-0. It was nice. I mean, we would have obviously took that. I would have majorly took that. I think we both said 3-0, did we? Or 3-1 before the game. So
Yeah, I even said 4-0 to be honest. But with a little bit
you
of
did,
luck, we should have been at fucking 5-6-0. So so you can look at it that we won 2-0, but a little bit of more sharpness, and with Nunez actually putting the ball to the sides of the goal instead of straight on him, and the goalkeeper not being Buffon. We would have scored like a few more, and that would have been great. But I'll take 2-0, and the way we played, because that just means that we're on the right way and we're actually creating chances. Even though it was Rangers, we just need to show that we are there, and I think we did.
Yeah, we did. Thank God. But yeah, we'll take 2-0 all day. Like we said, the way we've been playing, I will take a fucking 2-0. Jay Pearson is in the chat. All right, lads, live from Maze. The lads say hello, Mick. Hello, lads. Nice one for jumping in. Dave says, get in, Reds. And then he says, I said 2-0, I will take it, but would have liked the Darwin goal. We would have all loved the Darwin goal. We really would have. But yeah, 2-0. I just mentioned before, Napoli won fucking 6-1. So they're, in terms of the table, obviously they've won 3 out of 3. Their goal difference is like plus 11.
I saw some highlights from the first half when they scored, in half time on TV, and it just looked like Ajax just went straight into that trap, because obviously they were going forward, but
1-0 up.
Everything I could see, was Napoli counterattack, with 3-4 players, and Ajax have like one defender running back. I was like, you can't do that. Like I know you're at home and you want to win, but
They're very good though, aren't they?
Napoli they are good. But if you go that high up, and they're just gonna punish you, because they obviously playing away. So they know that they will just stay behind a bit, just relax, win the ball, and then go. And Ajax obviously is an offensive team, so they won't be that defensive at home, because they never really are. They never played like that. But in this case, it's a bit of a trap to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, so plus 11 goal difference, 9 points. Yeah. We're in second. We're on 0 goal difference. So we got that Napoli embarrassment or scoreline back. So we're back on 0. Goal difference again. Ajax are obviously on 3 points, and then Rangers are on a 0. But let's talk. I mean, I'm not going to do a Arsenal like preview or whatever, because not till Sunday, is it? But I just thought we've had a few comments in. Where is it? There we go. Dan says, what are we thinking for Arsenal? Normally I'd say our team is miles better than theirs, but obviously we haven't been in great form, and Arsenal have started really well. And then Aidan says, I would go with the same team, same formation Sunday. Might be a couple of changes. Robbo, Kanate, maybe the rest the same. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to go into too much detail, because we'll obviously do a. Well, actually, we won't, because I'm on holiday, so we'll have to do
again. He's on holiday again, folks.
Going on with jollies again. So yeah, we'll try and squeeze something in, to be fair, if we can, on the Friday or something. But yeah, what do you think? Do you reckon we'll stick with a formation? Do you reckon we'll stick with it, or?
I wouldn't mind, because I think Klopp, as we did, saw that it was working. It looked really positive. I know it's against Arsenal; it's a different team, different setup, different quality. But if we actually play well in the formation that we just tried and felt like, yeah, it worked. We created loads of chances. We could have scored more. We won. Like I said, self-confidence was built upon it. Why not? And then I think. Maybe a few changes, obviously, but Arsenal started really well. They added quality to their team this season in the transfer window, ahead of the season, and they will have self-confidence as well. But Liverpool is also a different team to some teams that they played. They lost against Man United, that we did as well. But I'm just saying, if Arsenal wants to be in the top in the long term, they need to obviously start winning games that is against us, of the 5-6 big clubs, that is. So it's going to be tough for us. I'm a little bit concerned with that game, because Arsenal's been good, but after tonight, I'm feeling more. I have a more positive.
Hopeful.
more hopeful and more positive vibes about that we can actually change from what hasn't worked and actually do something that we see, oh, it worked, so let's go for it. And maybe that's good for us as well, that we, like, I think I said that in the, I don't know if it's the Brighton review or whatever it was, but I just said, if we can concentrate on the defensive side of our game first to actually feel that we feel secure, go, at the back of the pitch, and actually feeling like, okay, we can defend, we have more people and bodies in that kind of space, making it compact, and we can feel that confidence and go forward from there, because we've been conceding the first goals. And if we play stupid against Arsenal, giving them space, they will punish us. So I just feel like if we can just go with the compact defensive feeling that we had like today, like we close them down, don't give them space. If we can do the same against Arsenal, and then we can get the ball into defensive 4 or whatever, then I think that would work. I think that would be a good thing. I don't know. What about you?
I think so. I think the beginning of that game showed me that the spaces were way less, and Arsenal are just in like amazing form. Like no one expected them to be top of the league after 8 games. They're currently 11 points ahead of us, albeit we've had obviously played 1 game less.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be. We've got 5 days to recover though. Obviously, it's Sunday. Is it Sunday at 4:30? So we've got 5 days there. But I think 4-2-3-1. I think just from the basis of that. Was it for the 80 minutes basically was that we played 4-2-3-1 until Harvey Elliott comes onto the field, and we go back to the 4-3-3. But yeah, I mean, usually Arsenal. I'm usually worried about Arsenal anyway, because I always think they tend to be in good form, and then Liverpool come round and then we batter them and put them back down below again. But at the minute, it seems like that's.
They found something. They found
a way of playing that suits them, and they've obviously got very good players that can do well against us, the likes of Martinelli, and obviously Jesus is class. Like I've always rated Jesus, even when he was at City. I thought he was like a very good player. So I think that's a good fit for them. So it's going to be a difficult game, but I think it's a good barometer for us to see where we are. Obviously, we've not been good, but today was a step in the right direction, and I think it's it'll be a good test for us. I think we go there. Obviously, away from home, it's even more difficult. But I think if we get a result there, and then we obviously head back to Champions League again to Rangers, and then we've got a massive game against Man City the following Sunday. So in a way, it's a good little dress rehearsal. I think the Arsenal one, to then go to the Rangers and the City game. It's a good little test for us to maybe get us into better form, because we just need to keep building on the form that we've got. And like I said, tonight was a good step in the right direction, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think to actually go and win tonight and doing it in the way we did it, it's a good thing going forward to play Arsenal and City. Because if we would have just had a 0-0 today, or actually lost, then we would have gone into the game against Arsenal feeling really shit and really bad and disappointed, and not only our supporters, the team and the players as well. So this kind of changed the whole way of thinking, from their point of view and our point of view as well. We actually felt like, yes, we won, we did a great performance, now let's keep that and actually take that to Arsenal and show them that we can actually give them a great game as well, and be a tough opponent for them, and actually go from there against City as well. But if we would have drawn or actually lost today, then it would be much more difficult, because there's so much psychological stuff that are being involved in the game as well. Like now the players know that we can do this, let's go and build on it. And yeah, they will go to Arsenal with more self-confidence, and that's really, really important.
It's very important. And Gonzalo Lozano, good name.
Great name.
Nice one for the comment. How do you like Luis Diaz today? What a pain in the back for the defence. Yeah, I think we're obviously just talking about the penalty, the way he just cuts inside, and he could score at least once, where he just that movement from left to right, where he just runs across the whole defence. It looks like it looks so simple, but it's so, I don't think you can defend against it, because he's so quick and he's so sharp, and he's just I think he needs to get better at the linking up, because I think he still takes a lot of touches around the box, and obviously that works for us when we need the quality. But I think in terms of learning the Mane way of playing it, I think he still needs to get better at that, the linking up, like watching the overlaps or the underlaps from Robertson or Tsimikas, whoever it is, and making those connections down the left hand side a little bit tighter and better. But as a player in his own right and as an individual quality, he's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think I think he needs to learn more to play like we did play Mane, because that will help us and it will help Robert or Tsimikas, who plays behind him. But I also like that he actually go and cut inside and actually go and try to bend it, in the top corner, because that will give us another dimension from his side as well. And obviously he have scored like a few of them, but now he tried tonight, he didn't score. He missed them and stuff, and I think someone were like blocked or whatever. But I just like that he keeps on trying. He doesn't stop because it doesn't work. He just keeps on trying, and at some point it will actually, he will start to score them goals as well. And I've seen, loads of video clips from him when he played in Porto. He scored quite a lot of many goals in that way. And I just like that he gives us something else that Mane probably didn't do like the last couple of seasons. He was great in scoring goals anyway, but I just like that Diaz can actually go on the outside and the inside and actually take, shots himself. So just keep on doing it, so he would score goals in that position. But you might just have to learn a little bit more to play like Mane did, to help Robert or Tsimikas and the midfield who plays, central midfield who plays on the left-hand side as well, because the triangles we have at every, the right side and the left side, it's really good when they start to click, and that's, something that we need. But he's brilliant, he's still young, he's just got loads of time to just improve.
Yeah, and I think that's nitpicking, isn't it? Saying like what he can do to be better, because at the minute he's one of our obviously best players. He can win you the game. Obviously the goal against Palace he scored, got us back in the game, and he's capable of doing that at any given time. Basically, it doesn't matter who the right back is, he can take them on and just absolutely cause carnage. So it's always good to have him in the side, because we know what he can do. But and that's the thing, you can get loads better. That's the thing. That's what we're saying. You can get loads better, which is great news for us and a scary prospect for any Premier League right backs that come up against him over the next couple of years, because he must be an absolute nightmare, because he's strong, he's quick, he puts his elbows into your back, he does all the little tricks of the trade, and that's what we want to see. And that's what we want to see from Darwin Núñez, because I think there was a moment tonight where he kind of stops one of the quick free kicks, doesn't he? And the referee has a go at him, and me and you said like, that's what we want to see. We want a shit house up front. We want someone who's just going to like try and piss off the defenders. Obviously, because of the red card and stuff, it's felt a little bit too soon to be messing around with like doing that and getting in the referee over to the referee and stuff. But we want to see that. So like, just bring on more of that. But who do you reckon your man of the match was, Kristian, before we start wrapping up this one?
Well, in terms of just, coming back and showing a really great performance, I would say Henderson, because, Diaz and Núñez as well, and, a few other players that were really, really good would be quite obvious, and, rightly so, to pick them as man of the match. But I just think, Henderson's been out. He has had a lot of criticism since the start of the season. Loads of people just have a go at him, on social media, or, saying that he's not good enough. Maybe he's not good enough to start every game, but he's still the captain. Klopp still trusts him. So I would say with this kind of performance, even though it was against Rangers, just to see him, being able to, play in that position, direct the game, being confident. And, I could also say and tell that he was the captain tonight, because he was shouting at people and he was, applauding them when they did great things. He was keep on talking to them. And that's what I want from him. I want the leadership as well. He might not have the same quality as Thiago or Fabinho or whatever, but he still has quality, and he has also the leadership. He drives them on, and I really, really like that. And sometimes players like Trent need that sometimes, someone's shouting at him when he needs to be doing better, but also giving him applause and, giving him credit when he does good. And that's what Henderson do. And some people, I think, are underestimating actually the importance of having that kind of player and leader on the pitch, telling people where to be and do. And obviously he needs to step up even more to keep on being that player. But I was happy with him, and I think he was man of the match.
Yeah, Aidan agrees. Says Henderson man of the match. I thought Hendo was very good considering, like I said, out injured, and I just think he's just more. I just think he's loads better when he's central. When he's central and he can drop deep, dictate play. I just feel like he's more confident in his passing range from there. I think with the ball, the clip balls over the top, like we said, they were on every time, and that's something that obviously they've worked on a training field, and it works. So we need to see more of that, especially when we play against Arsenal as well, because they're gonna want to press up high against us, because usually they kind of sit back against us and kind of try and pick us off on the counter. But I feel like they might change their style a little bit because of the way our season's gone, and they might try and press us high, which will hopefully they will, because that'll play into our hands a little bit more with the long balls and whoever's playing up front, Jota or Nunes. I think Jota was. I thought Jota was very good tonight as well, like dropping into those gaps and just playing that Bobby type role. Obviously, I think on the attack it was more of a 4-2-4, but like defensively, like Jota, when dropping into those gaps, where a couple of times where a little clip ball over the top, he chests it down and he spins and he runs away with it, and then just even closing the spaces, like we mentioned on the Team News show, like just closing the spaces down, because he's got that speed and the pace, and he's not scared of a tackle.
Yeah, and work rate. That's the thing. He can run as much as, I wouldn't say much as Luis Diaz, but he can still run loads. So he has the lungs for it as well. So
yeah, it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. But yeah, we'll leave it there because I'm conscious that it's 10-11, so it's 10-12 for you.
Getting up in 5 hours. Woo-hoo.
So let Kristian go to bed, everyone. But yeah, there's been loads of boss comments and appreciate everyone watching on a live, on whether it's been on Facebook or on YouTube. We appreciate it. But if you're on Facebook, then do jump over and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't mind. If you want to, we really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, if you've put all your comments in, we really appreciate everyone that has. It's been good, and we will obviously do loads more of these going forward, because there's fucking loads of matches in October. We're just gonna be fucking absolutely, just probably halfway through October, we're just gonna be half asleep just doing these, because it's just fucking, we just got done that many of them. But we really appreciate it, and yeah, if you're watching live, we appreciate it. If you're watching on the repeat, whether it's tomorrow or whatever, then do hit us with a like and a subscribe. We really appreciate it. If you're listening on audio, whether it's Spotify or Apple or whatever, then yeah, do leave us a rating and a review if you're feeling extra generous. We really appreciate that as well. If you do, I'm sure it helps with all the algorithms, or so I'm told. It helps with the views, it helps with the ratings and whatever else. Gets us out there, gets us into the spotlight a little bit more, I suppose. But yeah, we really appreciate it. Everyone here is. Liverpool have won 2-0, so it's always good to sign off with a win. And yeah, nice one to everyone. Nice one to Kristian. And we'll see you all next time.